business is getting more business-like as we approach the final 4 races of the World Super Touring Championship Season 4. Brands Hatch, full Grand Prix layout, and it's your usual front 3 rows of the grid. And a surprise with Ingram on home soil, dumping it all in qualifying somehow. Fortunately, some Ford Focuses weren't doing well either, and neither were the Volkswagen team, as per usual. Constructors and Drivers' Championships on the line, but they're still wide open, all things considered, mathematically so. But the way it's looking, Alfa for the win in the Constructors. Early days yet. It'll have to be a miracle for Renault to gain ground, given their early form. But as you see, they are skewered to the middle of the qualifying order there. And we shall wait and see what happens this time by. Good home support for local drivers. Thompson, Swinnerton, Michael Swinnerton, the co-commentator here, is backing his own Anthony Ingram to do well despite the poor qualifying. It'll be a good charge to see, I reckon, from the back of the pack there, Swinny.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He knows this track like the back of his hand. So, yeah, okay, the car wasn't really behaving in qualifying, but I know that the team have got to work on it. They've done a load of setup work to it. So hopefully, yeah, we should see him move forwards this time by.
Underdog story, the Tamiya Honda, as you can see in the mid-pack too. Some good performances from Felix Rydell, qualifying 8th. So as the fans prepare, the lights going out very soon. Wittmann on pole, Thompson alongside. The front-wheel drive going to be usurped, as we see in evidence here. It's Alfa Beamer, and then Thompson drop into 5th from 2nd as the traffic jam. And Dumas with a bit of a wobble on, Swinney with a wobble on, Ingram with a wobble on further back. And there goes the traffic jam. Oh my word, Gashu with a bit of a meltdown to the back of the pack as well. Maybe recovery down the inside of Graham Hill Bend there. Stuart Wickens propping the back of the pack up.
Yeah, there were a lot of cars there going through Paddock Hill that just got a massive slide on. That's been a theme we've seen quite a lot this weekend, is where the back end of the car gets really light. It just tries to overtake the front going down the hill at Paddock Hill. So look for that a lot this race and the next one.
Webber falling back to 2nd. It's an Alfa 1-2. Thompson back up to 4th. Aiello around the outside of Felix Rydell, up to 8th. On board, Aiello. Sheen.
Yeah, it's not the 90s anymore. That chicane doesn't exist. But yes, here we are on board with Aiello going through Sterling's. He's got Ekstrom in front of him. He's going to have to work very hard if he wants to keep his name relevant for this championship. Starting 10th, that's a good attempt at outside at clearways. Clark Curve,
fantastic
be careful you don't put it on the gravel.
He's closing on Nicky Lammers as well by the looks of it. Okay, Lammers still a bit of a gap, but that was a massive rush up the outside of Clark Curve clearways for Aiello up to 7th. Statement of intent, perhaps the statement should have been in qualifying, but here we go.
Yeah, so the same kind of early race speed that we saw from Aiello at the Nürburgring, so they've clearly managed to keep that momentum running forwards. Depends on if he gets stuck behind Lammers here, using all of the curb and all of the track and skirting with track limits there, getting these inside wheels on the white line there.
Nice and clear day, no rain in sight. You'll see some cloud cover perhaps, but no rain forecast whatsoever for this race and the next. Kobayashi 9th, Ingram up to 10th. Here we go, this is what we were talking about. We've missed a couple of overtakes, but that's what happens at the start of the lap.
Yeah, with everybody going everywhere and lots of deja vu action happening at Paddock Hill. That's why it's going to happen. There's going to be shuffling, although Gasho is the big loser there, still stuck in 18th. He hasn't managed to put on a charge like his teammate has. Shuffled back at the start and hasn't managed to work his way back yet.
Felix Rydell falling back to 11th. Kobayashi managed to get ahead. Still a good look for the Tamiya twins. And an even better look for Kubica on board. Here we go. Clearways, Clark Curve.
A little bit of a slide there, but not too much to hurt his momentum. Although having said that, the two in front are now pulling away. We'll see if Dumas gets another big slide on down into Paddock Hill here. Good. Tyre squealing, everyone goes a little bit sideways, but not enough to upset the balance of the car.
Rydell
Ingram's got his
did.
way past Kobayashi in that time, so next up on his hit list is his own teammate, Ekstrom.
Here we go. Wide goes Aiello, closing in on Nicky Lammers. Closer this time than the lap previous.
Yeah, he's definitely within striking range. If Lammers makes a mistake, that is, he can kiss that 6th place goodbye.
And all the while, the Alphas away, but Fisichella with the first flying lap record in fastest lap of the race. I mean, Webber third.
Yeah, Webber's keeping up with the two Alphas. They're not getting away, and they're not having it all to themselves. Webber is keeping them honest in that BMW.
The motif of last season and the motif of the end of this season, the Alfa BMW rivalry, remains strong since the 80s, even though touring cars have changed a lot since then.
You're not wrong, but the echoes of those glory DTM days are still there, because as I talked about last round, these two cars are the only 6-cylinder cars in the grid. They're the only rear-wheel drive cars on the grid, so they are a little bit closer to their DTM predecessors than all the rest of the cars here.
The only thing missing was the Crown Athlete from last season, but we know why. Ekstrom and Ingram joined at the hip. So are the Tamiya twins. Dumas closing in. Dumas and Kubica closing in. Wickens and Suarez battling out for the wooden spoon. Cashew up to 16th though.
Yeah, he's made up a couple of spots. He's not quite in the points yet. He does need to get one more position to get a singular championship point. Though a singular championship point is not going to keep his championship hopes alive. As slim as they may be, he needs to get past all of these cars in front of him.
What seemed promising at the start. What a shame.
The total domination at the beginning of this season has just completely fizzled out.
And here we go, Ingram down the inside of, or on the outside of Ekstrom there.
Bit of Volvo formation flying, that'll be one for the PR brochures.
Surtees on the inside, behave yourselves boys. Okay, Ingram ahead, clean as you like.
Very little defensive, or Ekstrom putting up a very small defence there, just letting the teammate through. It's probably the sensible play for now.
Already Ingram with the drive of the day then.
From starting, what, 18th on the grid? He's in the top 10.
And not even halfway through. Wittmann with the fastest lap, however. I think Ingram might just pop that bubble this time by with a clear space ahead to Aiello. Down the inside of Lammers, there you go. Will we see that still behind Lammers on the exit of Truett's hairpin?
Graham Hill, Ingram goes up to Surtees.
So some key moments here. Aiello with the move of the race and Ingram with the drive of the race so far, but still early days, early doors. 4 laps complete.
Yeah, Ingram got his personal best sector there under the Johnny Herbert Bridge, herring into Hawthorne. Being very neat, very tidy. Not overdriving the car through Westfield. This has a curb of death if you're not careful. Avoids
on the exit, nowhere near it. Lammers and Aiello still fighting for all it's worth there.
Again, it's very easy to run wide there and completely ruin your day. Into Sterling's, use the banking to your advantage, carry more speed than you normally would.
Lammers being very defensive on Aiello there, but
yeah, Lammers is fighting for that 6th place. And if they keep that up, they're going to let this Volvo catch them.
I'm amazed Aiello didn't think about making the same move he did earlier. But down the inside of Paddock, will it make
it?
Sent.
Little bit of a shoulder barge there, but not enough for it to be questionable.
And Ingram with the fastest lap, as we predicted. But I think that 35.4 might be usurped by one of the Alphas still straddling the top 2 positions on the grid, on the ladder.
Well, here's the other Honda defending a position. So Thompson 4th, Schneider 5th. Schneider wants to get back in front, make it an entirely rear-wheel drive top 4. Webber has fallen off the back of the Alphas though, so Thompson's sandwiched a little bit between these two M4s. Wonder if Webber's burnt out his tyres already or something.
And Aiello is gaining ground on this trio. And Ingram on the back of Lammers.
Yeah, Ingram on the back of Lammers. So everybody's the people who are charging are moving forward still.
And that's too much of a charge right there.
Little bit of a hurry up there, and a
7/10 bit of rally, 7/10 in the bag of that sector, but I think that's going to hold Ingram back.
Maybe. Lammers keeping a defensive line going. Hugging the inside there. Ingram's going to have to go all the way around the outside, which it looks like he might do.
Braving it round Paddock, go for it. Okay, maybe not.
No, can he do the over-under move? Oh, Lammers with a big slide. That's going to make his life very easy. Oh. Ingram sends it up the inside.
Almost unnecessary switch back, but for good reason. Down the inside of Druid's hairpin and into 7th.
Yep. Now,
Ekstrom's still 9th.
Can Ingram catch Aiello before Aiello starts overtaking the cars in front?
Look, and that fastest lap has been 6/10 have been cut by Aiello. Fastest lap game of choice, so Ingram's got it all to do now to eclipse that, but
well, the fastest lap is still important. It does get you 2 extra championship points, so it is worth playing for.
Aiello with a face full of BMW back bumper before Hawthorne Bend, and then falling back somewhat.
Yeah, I think the Beamer just had a better run through Sheen there.
I've just realised we've had all this excitement in the first half of the first sprint, or the first race of the day. Normally it's reserved for the reverse grid, so locals, British fans getting their money's worth, as are you on the stream.
Personal best for Schneider, so she's not giving up just yet. I think she is quicker than the Honda in front of her currently. She just needs to get it over and done with before Aiello can prove to be too much of a problem, because she doesn't want to get stuck defending from the Renault behind. Webber now in a slightly no man's land in third place there.
But it looks like the ground is being gained on Fisichella at least. There they are. So not a complete capitulation from Webber. There's still motivation to get ahead of the 2 Alphas, whilst Schneider's trying to be as defensive to Webber as she can. Webber's got to make the move here somewhere.
If he wants to spoil this Alfa Romeo 1-2. I think he just needs to spend the next couple of laps just sizing up Fisichella, working out where Fisichella is quicker than him and where Fisichella is slower than him, and then make the move accordingly.
If it's going to happen, Paddock Bend, surely.
It could be Paddock, it could be coming out of Graham Hill and going into Surtees. That's also viable, going down the Cooper Straight there.
Oh, the inside line could have been... I was expecting Webber to make an early move just as they cross the start-finish line. Thompson holding up Schneider. Lammers 8th, no man's land as well. There's Aiello down the inside of Schneider. Okay.
He's got one. Can he get past the rolling roadblock that is Thompson? Nope, there goes Schneider
Mind
back
you,
again.
Schneider. Oh, that is not cordial.
Ingram just giving him a little help there. Instead of just taking the place only for Aiello to fight back, he's just pushing Aiello down the road to work with him here.
So, despite Aiello's pace, he kind of bit off more than he could chew there. However,
this lot have spaced out a little bit for now.
and a fantastic shot of the top 7 all on the same straight from Ingram's onboard. Wittmann's starting to slow down, but it's still a good position for the team, good position for the championship drivers. Webber was in a comfortable position in the top 3, but Thompson closing in again. Aiello falling back.
These top 7 are just sort of being in a bit of an accordion at the minute, just spreading out in places and then closing up in places, going backwards and forwards. It's probably just a case of one car has a good chance, has a go, overheats its tyres, has to drop back again. Rinse and
once
repeat.
that's happening, top 7, and then a snake from top 8 on down to 19th by the looks of it.
Yeah, Lamber's holding
As
off that train.
Fisichella might have been on.
Yeah, the best problem in the world in any motorsport venue Alfa Romeo currently have, in that both their drivers are going for the championship, so it's not like you can designate a number 1 and a number 2 and order Fisichella to play rear gunner, because he has a viable shot at this title as well. They just need to make sure their 2 drivers don't hit each other and screw themselves out of constructors title as well.
Nice to see that on board. No one's making a move into Hawthorne.
Ingram very
Ingram
close
is
to the
very
back bumper
close.
of the Renault. I wonder if Aiello's destroyed his front tyres going through the field.
Same can be said for Ingram.
Very true.
So this battle is on for, and echoes with Ekstrom and Gasho further back whilst Lammers holds them up.
Yeah, so once again, this fight is just lacking the BMW to be a complete mirror of what's going on further on up the grid.
Kobayashi still 11th. Good day for the Tamiya twins. Still joined together. That privateer quartet still ahead of some of the major factory efforts that have just sort of capitulated. Suarez plumb last.
Not for the first time we've seen that happen.
And there
Aiello, where are
goes
you going?
Aiello. That is definitely tyres. On board with Ingram.
So Ingram goes to the outside. He's trying to get a crossover move on Aiello. Aiello just too busy watching his rearview mirrors. See you later.
And both him and Ingram are going for driver of the day, but Aiello's mistake kind of puts that to bed. I think Ingram's going to get that up to 6th. That was keeping the locals happy. Qualifying would have told a different story. And given the form book, we can't wait for the reverse grid race. So Ingram best kind of you know aim high, but aim high in race 2, perhaps. Let's see what happens. Schneider 5th.
Well, we are getting into the closing stages of this race now. Not many laps left. Whitman has got herself another gap to her teammate. I think Webber is occupying Fisichella's attention in his rearview mirrors again. I don't know if this Beamer can quite break up the Alfa Romeo 1-2. I think the Alfas have just got it dialed in too much this time round. So,
for the longest time, we haven't seen it this season that much, but we did see it in the early formative years of the World Super Touring Championship, that the tyres are being behaved upon when needed, and I think in Aiello's desperation it's fallen back into that trap of flooring it and wearing the tyres out, and of course self-inflicted, running wide at Paddock. And that's the first time we've seen that scenario happen in a long time. The team's been on top of that for a good couple of, this entire season. It's just a shame that it's had to happen at the business end of the season with a single. Well, it's just, everyone gets the same specification tyre, and they know they've been knowing what to do with it for since the end of season 3.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I think the result. The
extra factor that might have played into Aiello's mistake there is if you look at the last few seasons of the World Super Touring Championship and where Renault has finished as a constructor and where the 2 Renault drivers have finished in the championship standings, this has been their best shot at a championship at all. So you can forgive Aiello trying to just overdrive the car a little bit, just to try and eke something out to try and get this championship title, wrench it off the grasp of the rear-wheel drive teams. A little bit of a hurry-up nudge there from Ingram.
It certainly was. I just realised there was some dust, there was some smoke there, and
just giving Schneider a bit of a nudge to try and get her past the Honda, because of course that's what the Volvos want, is to be in front of the Hondas for their little battle.
And the top 3 are still close. Could Ingram round the outside of Schneider and Thompson?
He's got the run.
Maybe.
He's got the momentum. Are they going to go through?
Okay, build up.
Whoa!
And there goes Schneider.
That could have been a lot worse than it actually was.
There's been echoes of Ingram going off, being either punted or punting himself off. That almost happened to Paddock just then, but wide into Druids, and BMW in the rearview mirror again, slightly nervous, almost on the grass street on the exit of Graham Hill bend.
Yeah, Ingram got a good run out of Graham Hill, which really solidified that position after the potential disaster and flirtations with thereof at Paddock Hill and Druids. So now he can focus on Thompson, get himself around the Honda that so far Aiello and Schneider have been unable to do.
I wonder if this is what the locals wanted to see. There we are, side by side. Around the, Westfield, outside of Westfield. Yeah. Honda scratching their heads.
Got a much better run coming out of Hawthorne than Thompson did, and just carried that momentum through Westfield.
Lap and a half, for goodness to go. Well, almost a laps to go.
Schneider once again faced with trying to get around this Honda Civic.
Ingram eclipsing the fastest lap from Aiello. Split time of the beast, look, 6.66.
Weber has gotten himself past Fisichella. We missed that in all the excitement.
We did miss that.
There's now a BMW in second. Can Ingram nick the final podium position off of Fabrizio Fisichella? With 1 lap to go, he's closing in.
This will be entertaining. Keep your eyes on the screen, guys and girls.
Purple sector 1, that's a good start. Good exit out of Graham Hill. Late on the brakes into Surtees, trying to get that late apex, doesn't quite hook it up.
Still flying with the fastest sectors, so this is a recipe for last lap shenanigans.
Fisichella goes defensive into Hawthorne, so he's clearly watching the rear view mirrors. Oh, is he going to do it again?
There we go, done it again.
Around the outside of Westfield, yeah, he's cleared, look at that.
Drive of the race, dare we say drive of the day. We've got one more race to go, of course. It kind of puts reverse grid win into doubt, because it's Wittmann or Webber. They are still close. Exit of Sterling. Wittmann still ahead. It's a top 3 of different manufacturers. Great entertainment for race 1. We dare say for a change. It has happened. And check a flag for Wittmann, and that is win number 4 of the season. Title hopes very much in her sights. One more race here and one more weekend to go. Ingram, top 3. Volvo, very pleased with that. Aiello and Gasho, 7th and 8th. The effort was there. It's not enough. It is just not enough. And second row with the reverse grid. Volvo will be P1. It's Ekstrom, but Lamb's on the front row. Kobayashi would have looked good for pole. A bit more effort. The privateer is still in order, and that's your lot. Slight change at the end there because Kubica was up behind Kobayashi for P12. More points for them in the privateer campaign. But wow, breathtaking. And if indeed I say so myself, there, Swanee.
Yeah, you are seriously not wrong. I've I'd like to think I've coached Ingram well on how to drive around this track very quickly. Even he was finding space and overtakes that even I wouldn't have dreamed of doing. And I've done a lot of laps around here.
And the reverse grid race. I mean, this was entertaining enough. Let's hope it isn't an anticlimax. Front row of front-wheel drives, front 2 rows of front-wheel drive, but I think Schneider is going to be getting that particular jump at the start of race 2. Okay, about an hour and a half break for the crowd. I'd call that lunchtime, Swinney.
Yep, that sounds like a good idea to me.
So while we have that, we'll see you for race 2. On behalf of Michael Swinnerton, this has been Adrian Michael Rees. Race 2 coming up. Good racing, everyone.